The small observation station hung silently at the edge of the Sol system. From the outside, it looked like just another chunk of space rock. This was by design. The Galactic Council had kept this station here for over 200 years, watching the blue-green planet called Earth. Amanda Wright stared at her monitor with tired eyes. She had been working the night shift for 3 weeks straight. As a council scientist, her job was to observe and record data about Earth and its inhabitants, humans. Today was just like any other day. She sipped her hot drink and checked the latest readings. "Anything interesting, Amanda?" asked Greg Peterson as he entered the cramped control room. Greg was tall and thin, like most spaceborne council citizens. He had been Amanda's research partner for the past 5 years. "Same as always," Amanda replied. "They're still building those chemical rockets, still polluting their atmosphere, still fighting their little wars." Greg nodded and took a seat next to her. Hard to believe anything could evolve on that death trap. Earth was officially classified as Deathworld 7 in council records. Its gravity was nearly twice what most spacefaring species considered comfortable. Its atmosphere was rich in corrosive oxygen. Its temperature swings were extreme. By all council standards, Earth should be uninhabitable. Yet somehow humans not only survived there but thrived. "The council meeting is today," Greg reminded her. "Zathrax is presenting the Century Report." Amanda rolled her eyes. "Let me guess. The humans remain trapped by gravity and will never join the galactic community. Same as the last report, and the one before that." "Well, they're not wrong," Greg said with a shrug. "No species from a high-gravity world has ever developed space travel beyond their own system. The physics just don't work in their favor." The station's communication system pinged. A live feed from the Grand Council chamber was starting. Amanda and Greg turned their attention to the main screen. The council chamber was a vast, circular room with hundreds of seats arranged in rising tiers. At the center stood a single platform where speakers could address the gathered representatives of the 57 spacefaring species that made up the Galactic Council. On that platform now stood Zathrax, the council's lead xenobiologist. He was a Braxian, with pale blue skin and 4 upper limbs that moved with precise grace as he gestured to the holographic display behind him. "Esteemed council members," Zathrax began, his translated voice coming through clearly on the station's speakers. "I present the 10th Centennial Report on Sol 3, designation Earth, classification Deathworld 7. The hologram behind him showed Earth, a swirling blue and white marble against the blackness of space. As with previous reports, we continue to observe the native species, Homo sapiens, in their ongoing struggle against their planet's crushing gravity. Despite showing remarkable adaptability and technological progress in other areas, they remain fundamentally limited by their evolutionary environment." Zathrax changed the display to show human anatomy. The high-gravity environment has forced them to develop dense muscle and bone structures. This makes them physically strong compared to council standard, but also energy inefficient. Their metabolic requirements are extreme. Additionally, their circulatory systems must work against their planet's gravity, limiting their potential lifespan and cognitive development. Several council members nodded in agreement. It was basic xenobiology. High-gravity species were interesting, curiosities, but never became spacefaring civilizations. Their attempts at space exploration remain primitive, Zathrax continued. Their chemical rockets can barely achieve orbit around their own planet. The energy requirements to escape their gravity will make interstellar travel effectively impossible. With their current understanding of physics, the display changed again, showing human rockets launching. While they have managed to place simple satellites in orbit and even send basic probes to nearby planets in their system, they have made no significant breakthroughs in the past 50 years. Their so-called space programs have actually decreased in funding and ambition since our last report. Amanda frowned at this. It wasn't entirely accurate. Humans had been making steady progress, just not in the ways the Council considered important. They had been focusing on miniaturization and efficiency rather than raw power. In conclusion, Zathrax said, "I recommend we maintain the current observation protocols. Earth remains a Class 7 pre-contact civilization with less than 0.01% probability. of achieving interstellar capability within the next 500 years. They remain an evolutionary dead end, interesting specimens but ultimately trapped on their deadly homeworld. The Council voted quickly and unanimously to accept the report and continue the standard observation protocol. To them, Earth was just one of thousands of developing worlds, notable only for the extreme conditions its inhabitants endured. Back at the observation station, Amanda switched off the feed. "Well, that's that for another 100 years," Greg said, stretching his long arms above his head. "He's wrong about one thing," Amanda said quietly. "What's that?" "He said they've made no breakthroughs. But look at this." She pulled up a different screen showing a news article from a human university. The headline read, "Stanford researchers make quantum gravity breakthrough." Greg leaned in closer. "Probably nothing. Humans are always claiming breakthroughs. Remember when they thought they had faster-than-light particles 10 years ago? This is different," Amanda insisted. "Look at these equations." She zoomed in on a whiteboard visible in the background of a photo showing a smiling human woman identified as Dr. Lily Martinez. The equations written there made Greg's eyes widen. But that would mean they're on the edge of understanding gravity manipulation," Amanda finished for him. "Not just theoretically, but practically." Greg shook his head. "Impossible. The Council's been manipulating gravity for thousands of years, but it took unified field theory and quantum mechanics far beyond what humans have. Maybe they found a different path," Amanda suggested. "They evolved in high gravity. They've been fighting against it their whole existence. Maybe that gives them a perspective we lack." On Earth, in a modest laboratory at Stanford University, Dr. Lily Martinez was working late. She and her research partner Kevin Sawyer had been testing their new device for weeks. It was small, about the size of a microwave oven, with a tangle of wires and cooling systems attached to it. "Power levels stable," Kevin said, watching the monitors carefully. "Quantum field is aligned." Lily took a deep breath. "Initiating test. Sequence now." She pressed a button on her computer. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then slowly, a small metal ball placed in a clear chamber at the center of the device began to rise. It floated, perfectly suspended in midair. "My God," Kevin whispered, "it works." "Not just anti-gravity," Lily said, her voice trembling with excitement. "Controlled gravity manipulation. We can increase it, decrease it, even direct it." Neither of them could possibly know that their discovery was about to change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. Or that far away, in a hidden observation post at the edge of their solar system, two alien scientists were watching with growing amazement. The species that the Galactic Council had written off as an evolutionary dead end was about to break free from their Deathworld prison, and the galaxy was not ready for what would follow. News of Lily Martinez's discovery spread quickly through the scientific community on Earth. Within days, her laboratory was flooded with visitors, other scientists, university officials, and government representatives. Everyone wanted to see the device that could control gravity. "We need to keep this quiet for now," Kevin Sawyer said as he and Lily prepared for another demonstration, "at least until we understand all the implications." Lily nodded, though she knew it was already too late. Word had leaked. Her phone rang constantly. Her email inbox was full. A small crowd of reporters had gathered outside the laboratory building. "The Pentagon called again," she told Kevin. "They want to discuss potential applications." Kevin frowned. "Of course they do. They probably want to drop tanks from the sky. Or build better spacecraft," Lily countered. "This could revolutionize space travel." That was the thought that kept her awake at night. Her device could create a bubble of altered gravity. Inside that bubble, the crushing weight of Earth's gravity could be reduced or even eliminated. A spacecraft equipped with her technology could simply rise from Earth's surface without the need for massive chemical rockets. Far away in the Council observation post, Amanda Wright was watching the growing excitement with increasing alarm. "They're moving too fast," she told Greg as they monitored Earth's communications. "Look at this, they've already built a larger version of the device." The screen showed a warehouse-sized laboratory where engineers were working on a scaled-up version of Lily's original machine. The prototype was now the size of a small car. "We should report this," Greg said nervously. "The council needs to know." Amanda hesitated. According to protocol, they were supposed to report any significant technological breakthroughs immediately, but she knew what would happen if they did. The council would panic. They would consider options for containment, ways to prevent humans from using their new technology. "Let's wait," she decided. "See what they do with it first." 3 months passed. Lily Martinez and her team, now funded by a consortium of aerospace companies and government agencies, had transformed their gravity device into something much more ambitious. In a secure facility in the Nevada desert, they had built the first gravity-neutral vehicle. It didn't look impressive, just a boxy contraption about the size of a delivery van. But inside was Lily's refined gravity manipulation technology. The vehicle could create a bubble of reduced gravity around itself. Within that bubble, it could move freely, unaffected by Earth's gravitational pull. "All systems are ready for the first test flight," Kevin announced to the small group of observers behind the safety glass. Lily stood nervously next to him. The test pilot, a former Air Force captain named Joe Miller, climbed into the vehicle. He gave a thumbs up through the window. "Initiating gravity field," Kevin said into his microphone. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, slowly, the vehicle began to rise. There was no roar of engines, no blast of exhaust. It simply floated upward, as gentle as a balloon. "Field is stable," Kevin reported. "Joe, you have control." Inside the vehicle, Joe used a simple joystick to guide the craft. It moved smoothly in all directions, up, down, sideways. The movements were precise and effortless. "This is incredible." Joe's voice came through the speakers. "It's like swimming in air." The observers broke into applause. Lily felt tears in her eyes. It worked. It really worked. In the council observation post, Amanda and Greg watched the test with a mixture of awe and dread. "We can't hide this anymore," Greg said. "We need to tell the council." Amanda nodded reluctantly. "Send the report. Mark it urgent." Within hours, an emergency session of the Galactic Council was called. The chamber was filled with confused and alarmed representatives. "This is impossible," one delegate from a gas giant planet declared. "No Deathworld species has ever developed gravity manipulation." Zathrax, the xenobiologist who had so confidently dismissed human potential, now looked troubled as he addressed the council. "The humans appear to have taken a completely different approach to gravity technology than we did," he admitted. "Instead of working with unified field theory, they focused on local quantum effects. It's crude, but effective." "How long until they achieve spaceflight with this technology?" asked the council leader, a tall, slender being from an ancient spacefaring race. "They already have." Amanda's voice came through the communication system. The screen showed a new image. The test vehicle, now modified with additional equipment, rising high above Earth's atmosphere. The council chamber erupted in chaos. This was unprecedented. This changed everything. 6 weeks after the first test, Lily watched as the first real spacecraft using her technology prepared for launch. It was called the Horizon, and it looked nothing like traditional rockets. It was sleek and compact, designed to operate efficiently in the gravity-neutral bubble it would create around itself. "This will take us to Mars in just 3 days," the project director told the assembled press. "The fastest journey to Mars in human history." Lily hardly heard him. She was thinking beyond Mars, beyond the solar system. Her equations suggested there were no theoretical limits to how far the technology could take humanity. As the horizon rose silently into the sky, Lily felt a strange sensation. It was as if humanity itself was rising, breaking free from the chains that had held it to Earth for so long. In the observation post, Amanda and Greg received new orders from the council. They were to abandon their hidden position and make direct contact with the humans. The council had decided that containment was no longer possible. They needed to establish diplomatic relations before humans ventured further into space. "They're not ready," Greg protested. First contact protocols call for at least a century of preparation. We don't have a century, Amanda replied. Look, on their screen, they could see the horizon accelerating away from Earth at speeds that should have been impossible for a civilization at their technological level. More concerning, its trajectory would bring it very close to their observation post. They're going to find us anyway, Amanda said. Better it happens on our terms. She began the procedure to deactivate the station's cloaking field. On board the Horizon, Captain Alan Ross was the first human to notice the strange readings on his instruments. There's something out there, he told his crew of 3. At the edge of our solar system, and it's not a natural object. The crew gathered around the sensor display. None of them could have imagined that they were about to become the first humans to encounter alien life, or that their little gravity ship would be the cause of panic throughout the galaxy. As the Horizon changed course to investigate the mysterious object, humanity took its first unwitting step onto the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. The Horizon moved smoothly through space, its gravity drive humming quietly. Inside the ship, Captain Alan Ross and his crew were still trying to understand what their sensors had detected. It's definitely artificial, said Linda Clark, the ship's science officer. She pointed to the readings on her screen. Too regular to be an asteroid or comet. Could it be a satellite? Asked Paul Green, the engineer. Maybe something from the old NASA missions? No, Linda shook her head. It's too big, and it's not in any of our records. Captain Ross looked at the strange object on the main display. It was still too far away to see clearly, but the sensor data showed something roughly the size of a small building. Change course, he ordered. Let's get a closer look. As the Horizon altered its path, the crew didn't realize they were being watched. Inside the observation post, Amanda Wright and Greg Peterson were growing increasingly anxious. They've seen us, Greg said, his voice tight with stress. They're coming this way. Amanda nodded. It was bound to happen eventually. We need to follow the protocol. The first contact protocol was something every council observer memorized but never expected to use. It involved careful steps to minimize cultural shock and prevent misunderstandings that could lead to violence. I'm disengaging. The cloaking field, Greg announced. On the horizon, the crew watched in amazement as the mysterious object suddenly changed. What had appeared as a blurry shape on their sensors now became clearly visible. A smooth silver structure with odd protrusions and lights. That's not one of ours, Captain Ross said quietly. The realization spread through the ship. They were looking at something not made by human hands. Something alien. Are you recording this? Ross asked his communications officer, Beth Jones. Everything, she confirmed, her voice barely above a whisper. Should I try to contact Earth? Yes, Ross decided, but keep it brief, just the facts. We don't want to cause a panic. As Beth composed the historic message, the alien station sent its own signal. A soft tone filled the Horizon's bridge, and a symbol appeared on their main screen. I think they want to talk, Linda said. Inside the observation post, Amanda and Greg had activated the Universal Translation System. It would analyze the human's language and allow basic communication. Remember the rules, Amanda told Greg. Keep it simple. Be respectful. No technological or cultural details unless they specifically ask. Greg nodded nervously and pressed the button to open the channel. Attention, human vessel, he said, trying to keep his voice steady. We are peaceful observers from the Galactic Council. We request communication. On the horizon, the crew stared at each other in shock as the translated message came through. They're speakers. Did that say Galactic Council? Paul asked, his face pale. Captain Ross took a deep breath. This was far beyond his training. But someone had to respond. This is Captain Alan Ross of the Earthship Horizon, he said clearly. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration. We welcome communication. There was a pause, then the alien voice returned. Captain Ross, we have been observing Earth for many years. Your ship's technology has surprised us. We request a meeting. The news of first contact spread across Earth like wildfire. Within hours, the world's leaders had gathered in emergency sessions. The United Nations Security Council met continuously for 3 days. Scientists worked around the clock to understand the implications. Dr. Lily Martinez watched it all unfold with a mixture of pride and fear. Her gravity technology had brought humanity to this moment sooner than anyone could have imagined. "They want to meet with you," Kevin told her one morning. The aliens specifically asked for the inventor of the gravity drive. Lily felt her heart race. "Me? Why?" "They say they want to understand how you did it," Kevin explained. "Apparently, our approach to gravity manipulation is different from theirs." 1 week after the initial contact, a small diplomatic team prepared to board the horizon for the first official meeting with the Galactic Council representatives. The team included Captain Ross, Dr. Martinez, and Sam Butler, a diplomat chosen by the United Nations. As they approached the now fully visible alien station, Lily stared out the window in wonder. The structure was beautiful, with flowing lines, and materials that seemed to shift colors as they watched. "Remember," Sam cautioned them, "we're representing all of humanity now. Every word, every gesture matters." The docking procedure was surprisingly smooth. The alien technology adapted to match their ship's systems. When the airlock opened, Lily held her breath. 2 beings stood waiting for them. They were roughly humanoid, but clearly not human. Both were tall and slender with pale skin that had a bluish tint. Their eyes were large and dark. One had 4 arms instead of 2. "I am Amanda Wright," said the one with 2 arms, her voice coming through a small device at her throat. "This is my colleague, Greg Peterson. We welcome you on behalf of the Galactic Council." Lily noticed that they had taken human names, probably to make communication easier. She wondered what their real names sounded like. "Thank you for your welcome," Sam replied formally. "We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship." The meeting chamber was simple but comfortable. As they sat down, Lily noticed that the gravity felt slightly lighter than Earth normal. It was a small courtesy, but it touched her. "We have many questions," Amanda began. "Most urgently, how did your species develop gravity manipulation technology so quickly? Our model suggested it would take humans at least another 500 years. Lily leaned forward. "Sometimes being stuck on a death world, as you call it, gives you a different perspective. We've been fighting gravity our entire existence." Greg looked surprised. "You know we call Earth a death world?" "We intercepted some of your transmissions," Captain Ross admitted. "Not many, but enough to understand that you consider our planet unusually hostile." Amanda nodded slowly. "Earth has nearly twice the gravity of most inhabited planets. Most species would be crushed there. Yet you not only survived but thrived. And now we've learned to control the very force that was supposed to keep us trapped," Lily added. As the conversation continued, Lily began to understand just how shocked the aliens were by humanity's achievement. According to Greg, no species from a high-gravity world had ever joined the galactic community before. The physical and technological challenges had always proven insurmountable. "The Council is in an uproar," Amanda told them. "Your emergence changes many assumptions about how species develop." "What happens now?" Sam asked. Amanda and Greg exchanged glances. "An official council delegation is on its way," Amanda said. "They will arrive within 2 of your Earth weeks. Until then, we have been instructed to begin preliminary information exchange." As the meeting concluded, Lily looked out the viewport at the stars. Somewhere out there was an entire galactic civilization that had never expected to meet humans, that had written them off as an evolutionary dead end. She smiled to herself. They were about to learn just how wrong they had been. The 2 weeks of waiting for the official council delegation flew by quickly. Earth was buzzing with activity. Governments worked together in ways they never had before. Scientists shared information freely. The news of alien contact had united humanity in a way that nothing else ever could. Dr. Lily Martinez hardly slept. She spent her days explaining her gravity technology to Amanda and Greg, who seemed both impressed and troubled by it. Your approach is so different from ours, Amanda told her one day. We manipulate gravity through complex field generation. You found a way to directly affect the quantum properties of space itself. Lily smiled. Sometimes the direct approach is best. In her spare moments, Lily learned what she could about the Galactic Council. There were 57 member species, spread across thousands of star systems. Most came from worlds with much lower gravity than Earth. They had been traveling between stars for thousands of years. Why didn't you contact us sooner? She asked Greg during one of their sessions. Greg looked uncomfortable. Council policy is non-interference with developing worlds. Contact is only made when a species achieves interstellar capability on their own, or when they accidentally discover your observation post, Lily added with a slight smile. Greg nodded. That too. On the day the council delegation was due to arrive, Earth's major cities held public gatherings. In parks and squares around the world, huge screens were set up to broadcast the historic event. The council ship appeared suddenly in Earth orbit. It used no gravity technology like the Horizon. Instead, it seemed to fold space itself, simply appearing where it had not been a moment before. It was enormous, at least 20 times larger than the largest human spacecraft. Its surface gleamed with a pearly sheen that changed colors as it moved through Earth's shadow. That's a diplomatic vessel? Captain Ross asked as they watched it from the horizon. One of our smaller ones, Amanda admitted. The council didn't want to overwhelm you. A smaller shuttle detached from the main ship and descended toward Earth. The landing site had been prepared carefully, a large open area near the United Nations headquarters in New York. World leaders gathered to meet the alien delegation. Dr. Lau Martinez stood among them, feeling strangely calm despite the historic nature of the moment. The shuttle landed silently. Its door opened and the council representatives emerged. There were 5 of them, each from a different species. They varied greatly in appearance. One was tall and insect-like with multiple limbs. Another seemed almost human except for its green-tinted skin and extra set of eyes. The third floated in what looked like a water tank. The fourth was small and furry. The fifth and apparent leader was tall and slender with silvery skin. I am Senior Counselor Glaxnar, the silver being said, its voice translated smoothly. We come on behalf of the Galactic Council to formally acknowledge humanity's achievement of interstellar capability. The Earth delegation responded with careful greetings. The human representatives seemed tiny next to some of the aliens, but Lily noticed something interesting. The aliens moved carefully, as if the Earth's gravity was difficult for them. They're struggling, Kevin whispered to her. They both watched as Glaxnar took small, careful steps. Earth's gravity is harsh for most council species, Amanda confirmed quietly. They're using personal gravity adjusters, but it's still uncomfortable for them. The formal meeting took place in the United Nations General Assembly. Screens around the world showed the alien delegation taking their places on the stage. For thousands of years, Glaxnar began, the Galactic Council has observed developing worlds across this region of space. Earth has been of particular interest due to its unusual conditions. We classified your world as Deathworld 7, a high-gravity planet that we believed would prevent your species from ever achieving space travel. There was a murmur in the assembly. We were wrong, Glaxnar continued. Your gravity manipulation technology has achieved what we thought impossible. In doing so, you have earned the right to join the galactic community. The assembly erupted in applause. This was more than humanity had hoped for, not just contact, but an invitation to join. But Lily noticed that not all the alien delegates seemed happy. The insect-like being leaned down to whisper something to Glaxnar, who nodded slightly. However, Glaxnar continued when the noise died down, there are concerns about your technology. The Council has strict regulations about gravity manipulation. Your approach is unconventional and potentially dangerous. Sam Butler, the human diplomat, stepped forward. Dangerous in what way? Your method creates localized distortions in space-time, explained the green-skinned alien. On a large scale, this could disrupt navigation, communication, even the stability of planetary orbits. We've observed no such effects, Lily interjected. Because your usage has been limited, Glaxnar said. But if every human ship used this technology, the cumulative effect could be catastrophic. The mood in the room changed. What had seemed like a welcome now felt like a warning. What are you suggesting? Asked the Secretary General of the UN. We propose a technology exchange, Glaxnar said smoothly. We will provide you with our approved methods of gravity manipulation and interstellar travel. In return, you will agree to place restrictions on your own gravity technology. Lily felt her heart sink. They weren't offering membership as equals. They wanted to control human development. And if we decline? Sam asked quietly. The insect-like being stepped forward. Its translated voice had an odd clicking quality. Then the Council would be forced to consider Earth a potential threat to galactic stability. Containment measures would be discussed. The word containment hung in the air like a threat. After the meeting, Earth's leaders gathered in a secure room to discuss the Council's proposal. Opinions were divided. Some wanted to accept the offer. After all, the aliens were offering advanced technology. Others saw it as a trap, a way to keep humanity dependent and controlled. Lily sat quietly, listening to the debate. Then she stood. They're afraid, she said simply. Everyone turned to look at her. Don't you see it? They move carefully in our gravity even with their technology. They're physically weaker than us, and now we've developed a technology they don't fully understand. They're afraid of what we might become. The room fell silent as her words sank in. So what do we do? Asked the American president. Lily took a deep breath. We negotiate, but from a position of strength, not weakness. We don't give up our technology. We offer to share it instead. As the meeting continued, Lily wondered if the Council representatives could imagine what was happening in labs and workshops across Earth. Even as they talked, humans were already improving the gravity technology, making it smaller, more efficient, more powerful. The species that had evolved on a Deathworld wasn't going to be contained easily. 6 months passed since the first meeting with the Council delegation. Earth had changed dramatically in that time. Knowledge that humanity was not alone in the universe had altered everything from religion to science to politics. Old conflicts seemed small and pointless now. In that time, Dr. Lily Martinez had become one of the most important people on the planet. She led the human scientific team in negotiations with the Council. Every day brought new challenges and discoveries. They still don't understand how we did it, Kevin told her one evening as they reviewed the latest Council proposals. They keep trying to fit our gravity technology into their framework. Lily nodded. And they still want us to stop using it. Every proposal includes that same demand. The negotiations had reached a difficult point. The Council representatives remained on Earth, living in a special habitat with adjusted gravity. They continued to insist that human gravity manipulation was potentially dangerous and needed to be restricted. Meanwhile, humans had not been idle. The gravity technology had spread rapidly. There were now 50 ships like the Horizon, exploring the solar system. Lunar colonies were being built at an amazing pace, freed from the problems of low gravity by Lily's technology. Mars would be next. The Council is meeting today, Sam Butler said as he entered Lily's office. The diplomat looked tired but determined. They're voting on our formal application for membership. Lily looked up. Do we have a chance? Sam shrugged. It's close. Some Council species support us, others are still afraid. Will they really try to contain us if we're rejected? Kevin asked. They might, Sam admitted. Their military technology is far beyond ours, but they've never faced a species from a high-gravity world before. They don't know what we're capable of. Lily returned to her work. She was developing a new version of the gravity drive, one that could take humans beyond the solar system. If the Council rejected Earth's application, humanity would need to be ready. On the Council ship in orbit, the vote was taking place. Representatives from all 57 member species had gathered, either in person or through holographic projection. The application of planet Earth, Sol system, for associate membership in the Galactic Council is now before us. Glaxnar announced formally. All representatives may now cast their votes. Amanda Wright watched nervously from her seat in the observer section. She had become an advocate for humanity, arguing that they deserved a chance. Greg Peterson sat beside her, equally tense. "They've come so far so quickly," he whispered. "It scares many of the older species." The voting process took nearly an hour. Each representative had to state their position and explain their reasoning. The divisions were clear. Younger, more adventurous species tended to support Earth's admission. Older, more established ones opposed it. Finally, the last vote was cast. Glaxnar looked at the results for a long moment before speaking. By a margin of 29 to 28 with no abstentions, the Council approves Earth's application for associate membership. Amanda let out the breath she had been holding. It was the closest vote in Council history, but it was enough. There. "Our conditions," Glaxnar continued. "Earth must agree to share its gravity technology with the Council for study. Any deployment of this technology beyond the Sol system must be approved by the Council, and Earth must accept Council observers in all its major research facilities." The conditions were strict, but not as severe as they might have been. Earth would be allowed to continue using its gravity technology, just under supervision. The news reached Earth within minutes. Celebrations broke out around the globe. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger universe. In her lab, Lily received the news with mixed feelings. "Associate membership," she said thoughtfully. "Not full membership, it's still a victory," Sam insisted. "We're in. We have a voice now." "A small voice," Lily pointed out. "And they still want to control our technology." "What are you thinking?" Kevin asked. Knowing that look on her face, Lily smiled slightly. "I'm thinking we need to prepare for the future. The Council sees us as junior partners now, but they don't understand what it means to evolve on a Deathworld." 3 weeks later, the formal ceremony to welcome Earth into the Galactic Council took place. A huge council ship arrived in orbit, carrying representatives from all member species. The landing ceremony was broadcast to every corner of Earth. This time, the Council representatives seemed better prepared for Earth's gravity. They moved more confidently. Their personal gravity adjusters improved. Sam Butler led the Earth delegation, with Lily and other key scientists alongside government leaders from around the world. They stood tall and proud as Glaxnar presented the official document of membership. "With this agreement, Earth joins the community of spacefaring civilizations," Glaxnar announced. "All the knowledge and resources of the Council will be available to you, within the limits set forth in the membership agreement." Sam accepted the document with appropriate ceremony. "Earth is honored to join the Galactic Council. We look forward to contributing our unique perspective to the galactic community." After the public ceremony came a private reception. Council representatives mingled with Earth's leaders, sharing food and drink that had been carefully prepared to be safe for all species. Lily found herself speaking with a representative from one of the younger Council races, a being with purple skin and large, expressive eyes. "Your gravity technology is remarkable," the alien told her. "My people are very interested in it." "The Council seems less enthusiastic," Lily replied carefully. The alien made a gesture that might have been a shrug. "The older races fear change. They have been the dominant voices in the Council for thousands of years. But things are changing." "How so?" "Your admission was supported by almost all the younger races. We see the potential in new approaches, new technologies. The balance of power in the Council is shifting." Lily considered this. "And what happens when that balance shifts?" "The galaxy becomes a more interesting place," the alien said with what might have been a smile. As the reception continued, Lily watched the various alien representatives. They were so different from humans in many ways, yet they shared a curiosity about the universe, a desire to explore and understand. Outside, the night sky was filled with stars. Somewhere out there were thousands of worlds that humans might now visit. The universe had suddenly become much larger, but Lily knew that the journey was just beginning. Earth was now part of the galactic community, but on the Council's terms. The real challenge would be to find their own place, to make their own path. Humans had broken free from Earth's gravity. Now they needed to break free from the limitations others would place on them. As a species born on a death world, tested by hardship and gravity, they had the strength to do it. The galaxy wasn't ready for what humanity would become, but it would learn.